And we'll start with the Southeast Asian markets. Again, looking at our polar charts here. Jakarta and Kuala Lumpur, pretty similar patterns of strengths and weaknesses, but there are some key differences. Jakarta actually scores ahead of Kuala Lumpur across the infrastructure categories, while Kuala Lumpur comes out ahead when it comes to pricing competitiveness for network pricing and government transparency. The biggest differences between these two markets, according to our scoring system here, is that Jakarta has a much, much larger peering ecosystem with 7 times the number of ASNs connected than Kuala Lumpur. And then on the flip side, Kuala Lumpur has much more competitive pricing for IP transit. However, Jakarta's rates are eroding quite rapidly, which is a major plus for them as well. Turning to a few European markets, again, fairly similar patterns with Berlin and Madrid, with some key differences. Madrid has a much more highly deployed cloud ecosystem with 12 on-ramps, 5 cloud regions, and another one on the way. Madrid also comes out ahead when it comes to power. And here we're scoring specifically clean power, the percentage of power that is clean being used in the market, the amount of power available, the amount coming down the pipeline in terms of clean power generation. With more than 90% of all of its used power being clean, Madrid comes out ahead in that category. Berlin has a very fast-growing data center market, though, and really it edges out Madrid not because of the amount of capacity in place, but because of what's coming down the pipeline in the very near future. With more than 10 major projects actively being constructed right now, Berlin comes out ahead in that category. Actually also comes out slightly ahead when it comes to its internet exchange environment with a higher concentration of local ASNs in that market. A couple of Latin American markets that we've been talking about, Santiago de Chile and Santiago de Querétaro, are also fairly comparable in a number of ways. When it comes to clean power availability, Santiago de Chile comes out ahead. Chile, and that's basically not because of the amount of capacity in place, but because of what's being planned. Chile has more clean power generation projects coming down the pike than Santiago de Querétaro, where there really aren't any major projects happening in the very near term. So that's a key difference there. Chile also comes out ahead when it comes to internet infrastructure with more than 17 terabits of international internet capacity. It's a major international hub. In Mexico, the Mexican market comes out a bit ahead when it comes to its peering infrastructure. The last example I want to talk about in this section is Johannesburg and Cape Town, looking at these two African markets. And here I want to kind of throw in another feature of our platform that really drives home the point that ultimately, we have these scores that are set up, but the relative scores are with both overall and within each category. Ultimately, what really matters is what's important to the user. Whether, depending on whether you're looking at one facet or another, if you're more interested in what's happening in the internet exchange market, that market may be more of interest regardless of how it scores relative to another market in other categories. We can have numerous examples of that, and we'll show one here. So at first glance, Johannesburg clearly comes out ahead as the more mature cloud market in particular. But across this platform, we allow the user to change the weighting in any of the major group categories to determine what's really most important to you in evaluating a market's health. So without changing the weightings, keeping everything equal, Johannesburg comes out a little ahead in its overall score relative to Cape Town. But when we increase the importance of power in our consideration here, the score comes out equal for both. And that's because Cape Town has a tremendous amount of clean energy available in that market.